Hi, and welcome to the second video in the series about the making of Slow Train, the new single from a band called Paul. Available on Bandcamp now, Spotify from the 28th of December. Greetings from a very dark and overcast day in Dublin today, so apologies for the artificial light. Nothing I can do about it. I apologise also in advance from my dog, who may start barking at any moment, as he does at the moment. So today, having talked about the drums in the last video, I'm going to talk about the percussion and the bass in this video. Now, the percussion, as you may remember if you'd watched the first video, describing the drums, I talked about my approach to stereo panning and how, even on a granular level, within a section or within an instrument, I like to consider where the instrument or player would fall on the stage as if the band were performing. And the same is true of the percussion. Now, in this band that's performing on the stage, where money is patently no object, I have two percussionists. I have one each side of the drummer, so a full back line of percussion, drums, percussion. Now, I was a percussionist, a professional percussionist for about a decade, so I know my stuff here a little bit. What I like in that setup is there's a playful competitiveness in my imagination between the two percussionists, because that's frequently how it was when I was playing. You know, see who could outdo the other. You know, you'd up the ante a little bit. So on the track, you'll notice that there are certain things assigned to the percussion player on the left pan and certain things assigned to the percussion player on the right panning. They both have an udu pot. So I always thought of it in terms of they're kind of competing with one another to see who could play the udu better. One's playing it during the verse, the other's playing it during the break, or the bridge, should I say, the people to the left, people to the right bit. So let's listen anyway to the percussion in isolation, and you will hear that there is time allotted for each player to move from one instrument to the next. So they stop playing the udu. For example, actually I should tell you the assignment first, is the left player has bongos and udu during the bridge. The right hand player also has an udu. He also does the triangle and the shaker. Let's listen to the left percussionist actually for the moment. So here he is doing the bongos during the intro and the verse. I'll skip a bit so you can hear him move to the udu. And here he is, giving it socks on the udu. Now while he's doing that, the player on the right is playing the triangle. And then when it breaks to the chorus, they both change. Back to bongos on the left. Right hand player picks up a shaker. And so it is for the chorus until we come to the verse. Here. Now we're back to bongos on the left hand player, and I'll just turn up the right hand player, and he's got the udu this time. So as I say, they're each out-udoing the other. Who has the most flair? That's a great groove. I love that. I love the triangle especially. I can actually imagine the triangle clipped, because he wouldn't have time to actually hold it in his hand. He'd have to have it on a clip. I'm using it like that. And that's the percussion. There are more kind of percussive effects in the track, but I'll get to that in another video where I'm dealing with the more sound design elements. There's marimba, for example. There are some metallic sounds overlaid to try and recreate the train. And so to the bass, where neither for the first nor last time on the track, and on most tracks I do, I completely cheat. So sue me. As I mentioned in the first video about the drums, the bass was actually the very first thing to be written on this track. I just heard this loop of a bass riff going through my head. And when I heard it played, because of the bossa nova style, it was on upright or double bass. So I cheated on two counts. The first is that it's not a real bass. It's MIDI triggered samples from my sample library. And the second count is that it's not one bass, it's two, layered together. Now the reason for that is that this was the rounded tone bass that I wanted to fill out the sound. So a nice, you know, full body bass sound. But for me, that's missing a vital ingredient, because when I think of upright or double bass players for this style of music, certainly, I want them to be playing like their hands are a pound of pork sausages slapping that thing. So it's missing that kind of top end slap for me, that thing that makes it sound more real, more energetic, more passionate, more vibrant, more live. So on top of the existing bass, I added this little element that I'll introduce here. And you can hear the strings there, you can hear the slap, you can smell the pork, as it were. So, as I frequently do, well, I always do, when I have more than one instrument forming a sound like this, I will get an internal level for the pair of them, and then I will send them to a bus so that I'm controlling the master tone and volume levels throughout the track of the two combined as if they were one instrument. So effectively, I'm taking the two layers, getting the internal balance correct, and from that point on, treating them as one instrument. So I hope you enjoyed that a little. I hope it's interesting to watch these. And on the next video, I will do the strings and the woodwinds and the brass. See you then. Thanks.